Okay, I didn't notice this when I was just getting ready this morning. Getting ready, in quotes, getting ready to write. Everything I'm wearing is gray. Headband, sweatshirt. I'm in my original kidnapping garb. If you're new, that might be confusing. It's fine. It's like, oh, later than I would like it to be, but it's Monday morning, so I'm giving myself some grace. Somehow, between when I cleaned my kitchen yesterday and right now, it is now already a mess, so that's a little annoying for me personally. We're back to the 5 a.m. vlogging where I'm like not even awake yet, and I'm like, should I say something? Should I just speak? Or should I just do it? Okay, here's the thing about the espresso machine and me is that I'm too messy of a person, but I'm still like committed to using it, but there's just like grounds everywhere, which I will clean. So welcome to day 13. I actually gave myself a lot of plot to get through today, so that's really, I'm really happy for myself for when I made that schedule. So happy Monday, everyone. Not talking myself into a potentially life-threatening decision. So why not just do it now? Why not just bite the bullet and tell her everything before Not my most productive sprint, but still making progress, still feeling good. Here's always the problem that I run into is that this whole scene is like very important for them to be together, you know? Not together, but like for them to have a good connection so that it makes sense for them to like do the things that they do later in the plot. That sounds spicy, but it's really not. I feel like there's a lot riding on this scene, but also just gotta remember that it's probably 100% gonna change. It feels like I need to make them have chemistry, and that usually comes naturally for me, but that's not my biggest strength. Like I'll have plot points that are like they're together and friends now, but it's like how did we get there, you know, and how did we make that feel organic? And I think it is organic, it just takes a little bit longer and takes more trial and error. Like I just read this random conversation that they have that will not stay, but for now, it's gotta be good enough. I'm really liking the internal conflict. Like I like how obvious the internal conflict in this book is. Sometimes that's something I've had to fight, being like, what is it? Like, how do I show this internal conflict better? Like in my past books, because I know that that's super important. But this one, it's just like the internal conflict is so clear for both of them, and it's so fun to layer that with what's happening in the scene. So yeah, I'm excited. I'll have to do probably like an hour and a half of writing tonight, which I'm trying to figure out things because I need to go to the bank, but I also need to go to the gym, but I also don't want to get back here too late because so then I can start writing earlier. And sometimes I think about that and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed about that. And then I think about people who have like 3 children to drop off at school and activities and then they go to work. And I'm like, that will be an era for me one day, but right now it is not, and I cannot imagine. So if that's you, give yourself an extra pat on the back today and don't even think about comparing yourself to someone like me who has like, I'm the only one I'm responsible for. And driving to the bank is looking like this huge roadblock in my day. Remember that, okay? Okay? Oh, my dishwasher is very loud in the background, and this isn't even really an update. I just was, I don't know, feelings. It's like 4:30. I'm working from home, just taking a little 5 minutes to chat. I don't know, I just like, I want it more today. Let me give more context. I am seeking traditional publishing. If you're just catching me during NaNoWriMo, I've had a couple questions, but I am not published right now. I mean, I have a short story in an anthology that's published, but not anything me. And I am currently querying a book, and I've gone through a whole, I don't know if grieving process is the right word, but like acceptance process of really understanding how long does it really take to get traditionally published? What are really the odds? How likely are you to sell one book? You know, like all of those, it takes this long to query usually, it takes this long to write the, you know, I've really come to terms with the fact that it's a really long process and that it might be years or even like, Lord help me, a decade before I see my book in shelves, you know? And I've really have a lot of peace with that. I'm like, I know it will happen when I'm ready for it and when it's right for me, and like that it's gonna be worth the wait, and that like all these things are necessary, right? And so most of the time I don't even really think about it. I just think about the present moment of like, okay, well, the next step that I need to do to get there is to write this book or to query these people or to write this letter, you know, like all these things. So I just kind of live doing that and not thinking about like, oh, I wish it would come sooner, because I just like acknowledge like, this is what it is, this is what I want, this is the steps to get there. It's not just gonna be handed to me, right? And that's totally fine. But some days I just like, I want it more. Like I see other people's success and it's great. And I had to step away from social media today, because sometimes when I see other people's success, I'm like, I want it and I deserve it and I need it. And it's like, no, that's their time and this is my time right now. And like, even when I am published one day, my days are still gonna look like this. I'm still gonna be writing. I'm likely still gonna be working, like all these things, my life will look relatively the same, right? And so I try not to think about it too much, but I was just listening to some T Swift, specifically Welcome to New York, which for some reason I've always thought of in my head as like the song where I'm going on my book tour and I'm signing all my books and I'm meeting my dying fans. They're not dying. I don't know why they would be dying. And I just like had this impatience. I was like, I just want it now. Like I want to be done doing other things. Like I want to be past this time where I have to have a day job. Like I want to be past all of this, but I know that that is not where I am, and that's really okay. And I'd come to a lot of like peace about that and understanding, and like really it's helped me grow my patience a lot. And like, but some days I just want it more. And today was one of those days where I was like, I really want to get that agent call today. The camera cut me off, but yeah, I think having moments like that, I don't know, I think just helps me put in perspective like where I'm going, what I'm working towards. So I appreciate them when they come around. As you can tell, I just got back from the gym, so it's a little greasy, it's a little grimy. We love to see it. I have felt just so scattered today. I don't know what it is. I think it's partially where I am in my cycle, partially just like being a little bit more tired. I've been scrolling a lot today, which just always makes me feel so scattered because you're just consuming so much different stuff from so many different places. Not looking at my phone again today. Do you hear me? I'm not. It's so like, I'm never happy when I'm scrolling, so I don't know why I keep doing it. I was thinking back to a video I made in the summer, which was where I looked at like focus modes, like how to get into like a flow state as a writer. I'll link that. And what I did for that video was I worked for like 90 minutes uninterrupted without looking at a clock, without a timer, which I'm just feeling really drawn to doing a longer sprint like that. It was just like a day where everything was hard. Where it was like, oh, I need to run to the bank. That sounds like the worst possible thing I could possibly do. It's like, oh, I literally just need to send this 1-2 sentence email. Like that sounds... And writing is sort of feeling that way too, but I know myself. Like I know this for a fact that if I get into a sprint that's that long, and I really immerse myself in this scene without all the distractions. It'll take a little bit to get into it, but then I think that will help. So that is my plan for this evening. It's definitely Monday.